Two people start with the same $50,000. Same income, same city, same opportunities. 20 years later, they both end up with money, but one of them quietly lost something far more valuable: time. And the worst part, they don't even realize it, because on the surface, they both look like they made the smart decision. Let's call them Tony and Barraza. Tony decides to invest in real estate. Barraza chooses the stock market. Same starting point, two completely different paths, and one hidden mistake that almost nobody talks about. Tony takes his $50,000 and uses it as a down payment on a rental property. A solid 3-bedroom house, good neighborhood, nothing flashy, just smart investing. He gets a mortgage, finds a tenant, and just like that, he's a landlord. The rent comes in at $1,800 a month. His mortgage is about $1,300. On paper, that's $500 in profit. Tony feels like he cracked the code. Barraza takes the same $50,000 and puts it into index funds. No leverage, no tenants, no excitement. He sets up an automatic contribution of $300 a month and then does something that feels completely wrong. He ignores it. At the beginning, it's not even close. Tony has something real: a house, a tenant, a story. Barraza has a number on a screen. Nobody asks Barraza what he's investing in. Nobody is impressed. But Tony? People lean in when he talks. Wait, you own property? Man, you're doing it right. And this is where most people get trapped, because what feels smart and what actually works are not the same. For the first few years, Tony feels like a genius. Rent shows up every month. The property slowly increases in value. He drives past it sometimes and thinks, I own that. It feels powerful. It feels like progress. But there's something missing from the picture. Something that doesn't show up in the numbers, at least not at first. Because that $500 profit, it's not real. Not yet. There are property taxes, insurance, maintenance, a broken water heater, a leaking roof, a tenant who leaves unexpectedly. Suddenly, that $500 a month starts shrinking. Then comes the part nobody talks about: the phone calls. Late at night, early in the morning, weekends. Tony didn't just buy a property, he bought responsibility. Barraza, on the other hand, is doing nothing. Literally nothing. He checks his account once in a while. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. It doesn't feel like progress. It feels slow. And that's exactly why most people quit, because the beginning of compounding is boring, painfully boring. By year 3, Tony has made some money, but after expenses, it's not life-changing, not even close. Barraza's account, though, has quietly grown, not dramatically, but consistently. And here's where things start to shift. Not on the surface, but underneath. Tony's investment is growing, but it demands his attention, his time, his energy. Barraza's investment is growing without asking anything from him. One is active, the other is silent. By year 5, Tony has learned the truth. It's not passive, it's a business. There are repairs, vacancies, unexpected costs. Every year feels slightly unpredictable. Barraza, still doing nothing. But something interesting starts happening. His growth begins to accelerate because compounding doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in a curve. At first, it looks like nothing. Then, slowly, it becomes everything. By year 10, both of them look successful. Tony has a valuable property. Barraza has a growing portfolio. And this is where most people get confused, because they say, see, both paths work. And they're right, financially. But they're missing something deeper, because Tony didn't just invest money, he invested his time, hundreds of hours, weekends, stress. Barraza invested money and kept his time, and time is the one thing you never get back. Now fast forward to year 20. Tony is wealthy, Barraza is wealthy. On paper, they look the same, but their lives? Completely different. Tony worked for his returns, Barraza waited for his. And that difference? It compounds too. So the next time someone tells you real estate is the best or stocks always win, ask them one question. Did you include everything? Because the answer that includes everything is the only one that matters. And if you really want to understand how people build not just wealth, but freedom, then the next thing you learn might completely change how you think about money.